everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. Hey, we are going to create a fabulous thank you card. This is going to be one of those cards you can make if you're running short on time. Who isn't running short on time, right? This is a fabulous little card. I'm going to teach you a couple little clever tricks as well, how to create these cards. We're going to be featuring the color and contour bundle, but I think when you see today's cards, you're going to be able to create them with your favorite floral stamp set. So let's head over to my stamping table and create. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So I wanted to show you just kind of a close-up of the cards that we're going to be making, but we're actually going to change up the color because this stamp set is so gorgeous in so many colors. This one here I did in So Saffron. This one I did in the Petal Pink. But today, let's change it up. Let's use the Fresh Freesia. Isn't this gorgeous? Let me give you the measurements of my cardstock. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25 inches. And then we're also going to bring in a piece of crumb cake. And this is 2.75 by 4.25. And then on top of that, I've got a piece of Very Vanilla that is just a little bit smaller, so 2.5 by 4 inches. If you guys have followed the flashcard system, yep, this is also a flashcard. So let's talk about our stamp set and bundle. So I've got a set of fantastic dies here and the color and contour stamp set. I really love this bundle. I think you can tell why. Look at all these labels. I mean, what's not to love about all those labels? This is what's going to add a lot of really great dimension to a card because it's got all those great scallops. We have a scallop border. And then you can see here we have the flowers and we also have this trio of flowers and we have dies to match that as well. So we are going to use the bundle today because we're going to do a little die cutting here. And what you want to do is you want to find the die that will fit just inside that piece of Very Vanilla. Can you see it goes right to the edge? That's the one we need. Okay, we've run that through our machine. Now we're going to do a little stamping here. I am going to take that trio of flowers and let's bring in a soft suede ink pad. This is going to be really nice and soft. I think soft suede looks really nice when I'm working with the Very Vanilla cardstock. So we're just going to tap, tap, tap. And I am going to stamp this flower here all the way over as far as I can there on the left side. And you can see my stem or my leaf actually came off. That's fine. I am good with that. All right, now we'll bring in that Fresh Freesia. And we're going to do a little stamping here. Before I do, I want to bring in some grid paper because we're going to do a little fun technique. So I'm going to ink up my stamp. See how we've got a really great trio that goes right inside there, except I'm going to stamp off once. See, we want that to come out just a little bit lighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my stamp right on top. Don't you love the fact that photopolymer stamps, you get to see right through them and you know right where you're going to stamp? There we go. Now that gives it a soft look. Now what we're going to do, this is called the rock and roll technique. And I hope that you can see I'm just hitting just the top edges of those flowers. I hope that you can kind of see, let me put it over here on white, that I've got a little bit darker right here. And then we're going to line that up right back on top. And if you get off a little bit, don't worry about it because what this is going to do, you see it kind of gives a little, just a little extra dimension to our flowers. I thought it was kind of fun. Okay, now we're going to come in with our crumb cake cardstock and that soft suede ink pad again. And this time we are going to say, you're absolutely amazing. We're going to stamp that there in the center of the crumb cake cardstock. And then we're going to find the die that works with You're Absolutely Amazing. And it looks like it's actually the smallest one. And I want to point this out. Can you see it looks like it's cutting off the G? But when you flip it over, there's no die cut here. So actually, we're going to get all of that. So we're going to just line that up. I'm going to die cut this as well. And I want you to notice I have that die just touching the top of the your absolutely. All right. Now let's add our top cutting plate. See what I mean? It didn't cut off any of the word amazing. Yeah, it's wonderful. Now we're going to save this piece because we are going to add that very vanilla with our beautiful two-toned fresh freesia flower. You know what? Before I adhere that down, I need to point this out. It's a little long down here. We're actually going to cut this piece down. We're cutting it down to 4 inches. I left it at the 4 1/4 just because we were kind of talking about flashcards, and typically they are 4 1/4, but we did cut that down to 4 inches. All right, now we're going to do a little more die cutting because I just can't let that scallop just sit there. Oh, I'm crazy for scallops. I really am. They're one of my favorite things. And what we're going to do here is we're going to place the die right there, and we're going to go right to the edge. Okay, right to that edge. Let's die cut that. And by the way, if you'll just go ahead and take a minute to make sure the top and the bottom are even. Okay, so you don't want that way your scallops are nice and centered. We're going to run that through so we get that little edge cut off. All right, we have that. Let's run that through. We're going to have so many great scallops going on this card. Now, do you notice that not only do we get that scallop, but look at this, we get a little pinhole. Look, very pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? And you see it goes right to the edge of the card. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring that grid paper back in, and there is a wonderful speckle stamp. And we're going to give this background some texture, so I'm going to lightly ink this up. So this is a tap, tap very lightly. And I'm just going to tap several times, not re-inking every time, but I am kind of twisting so that the dots, the speckles, aren't always going the same direction. I'm going to go ahead and open this so I can get a little closer to the edge. Now I'll close it so I can get this edge. Okay, so now we're going to add our focal image here. So I mentioned earlier that this is a flashcard. Hey, if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say flashcards, I'm going to put a link up there in the corner. This is a series I started, oh gosh, I'm going to say 2012, 2013. I taught how to save and always have on hand those two little pieces of cardstock. And so you're always ready with a card. All right, so to adhere our sentiment, I'm going Stamp a Dimensional. So I'm going to add about 3, just going right down the center there. And this is going to add, like I love to add dimension to a card. I just think it does so much to make a card stand out. You're going to add this pretty much wherever you desire. We're going to go about right there. And do you remember the little, I had you have that little knot? Well, let's decide where we want that to go. We have a lot of options. We have 4 corners here. I think I'm going to go down here. I think I like that. So I'm going to take a mini glue dot, press my little ribbon knot onto the mini glue dot, and go right there in the corner. That's looking pretty. I'm going to add one more thing though, because I also, not only do I love dimension, I love bling. These are Opal Rounds and I love them. I love the look of opal. I'm just going to place one opal round right here at the tip of each one of my scallops. Just kind of dresses it up a little bit. Of course, you know, this is an optional thing. And he's a little runaway. There we go. And I know many of you, if you ordered from me in the past, you've received these as a free gift from me. So, all right, there we go. Gorgeous card, right? How would you like to step it up just one more notch? So although the inside of this card is very light, so it's fine to write on, if you were using a darker color and you wanted to add an insert to the inside, I've got a piece of very vanilla and it is cut 3.5 by 4 3/4 of an inch. And we're just going to add this here to the inside. And there is a reason I went with a little bit smaller cardstock for the inside. And that is because I don't want it peeking out here on the side. So that way when we open it, we kind of get that nice surprise. Now let's go ahead and add a sentiment to the inside. And we're going to say, so very happy for you. So I thought that went well with the you're absolutely amazing. So now I have room to write my message here, and I've got my beautiful card ready to go. Now I want to share one more tip with you before I close, and that is, you notice here on my other two cards, I did different sentiments. I did it, I'm so happy or so very happy for you, and a thank you for everything. But what I want you to notice is that there is not a die that is that size. So let me show you my little trick. I used, this is the second to the largest, okay? You notice it does not quite fit there. So here's my trick. I'm going to take my piece of crumb cake here and I'm going to die cut this. Here is our die cut. Now let's go ahead and stamp. And you notice for so very happy for you, I went vertical. Thank you for everything. I went horizontal. So this technique works for both of those. So how about we do a horizontal? So I'm going to turn this around. I'll stamp so very happy for you. And you can see I can't just cut this off because I need this little scallop, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this die and it just kind of clicks into place. I really don't know how else to describe it. Those scallops just kind of line up and it just kind of locks itself right there. Now I come back in with my die cutting plates and I can run this back through and let me show you the magic. It cuts that end right off. And look at this one, it's actually a little bit shorter. It's all based on where it actually cuts. But look, I still have this nice little edge here. I still have my decorative border, and I still have a scallop. And as I said, the same is going to hold true for this die. Just all I did was cut it the other direction. Not a big deal. It's a great way to stretch your dies. So when you order this die set, it is nice to know that you're not just dedicated to these dies. You can shrink them, you can change that. And by the way, that technique's going to work with any of these. And there you go, my friends. That is today's color and contour quick flashcards with some beautiful colors. You use your favorite colors with this, and I'm telling you, you're not going to go wrong with sending a gorgeous card like that. It is my hope you guys enjoyed the cards today. If you did, I would love a thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. And if you haven't subscribed, oh my goodness, become a subscriber. Just click the great big red subscribe button so YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. Thank you all again so much for being here. Go create something fabulous today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.